Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday, January 5th. Hopefully, you guys are having a good weekend. But, so, yesterday we talked about taking chances and how to set goals that are realistic and so forth. Today, we're going to go a little bit different. And I know that right now, you're going to be scratching your head. But as we go into the topic, you're going to know people that do this. And maybe you do this yourself. I've done it myself. And it's how we define ourselves. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it. And yes, this is the weekend. We do the weekday, Monday through Friday, and we concentrate on business and how to make you and me better, right? And I try to get across different ways of looking at things. And my approach, and it has been for quite some time, is I'm in the advice column. And that is take what you can use and leave the rest. So today we're talking about how people define themselves. And let me give you a few examples. And then I think it's going to be more clearer than it is right this minute. I've got friends that when we get together, they can't wait to tell me how much their business grossed. They want to talk business. It's all they want to talk about. And if you come talk business with me, be honest with you, I don't care what you grossed. It's what you netted. But that aside, you could make $5 million and only net $10,000 when you get done paying everybody. But what I want to get across is that's how people define themselves. They want to be seen as being successful. The problem with that is, what if the business does half that and they lose $20,000 the next year? Does that change who the person is? If you're going to define yourself by your successes, does it seem realistic to define yourself by your failures? Because if you go backwards for whatever reason, it is deemed a failure. But not in a bad way. Just hold on. Don't get excited here. Failures are good. And why do I say failures? Could be because there are roadblocks in the road saying you need to change course. You need to go a different way. If you continue the direction you're going, it's going to get worse. So you need to make a course correction in your business plan, in your life, and go a different direction. But I gravitate more towards people that define their success on talking about their kids, talking about their better half, the fun times they're having. Maybe they're taking up a new sport, tennis or something. They're talking about their personal life. And that's what defines them. I'm a business person. Don't get me wrong. But I can't define myself by what the business is doing in any particular year. Because we've had rocky years, that were, make or break going into the 10th month. And If I'm defining myself like that, then I would have to define myself as a failure. That I did not achieve what I achieved the year before. And if you look at my business now, because I've downsized it for a reason, for a purpose, would I also have to define myself as a failure because I've gone from here to here? I don't. Because the business does not define me of who I am. Those successes are not definable. And once, twice, three times in your lifetime, there's certain things that all the stars align can't define you either. Because there was a lot of luck and chance, right? Me, I want to know the real you. If we're going to develop a friendship, I don't care about your business. I'll tell you, that's great. But I'd rather hear about you and how you're doing with your family, the people around you. Where are you going on vacation? If you're going on vacation, show me pictures where they gone on vacation, and not lavish vacations either. Could be they rented a cottage for a weekend up in Maine, a B&B, and went up, spent the weekend of the week. That's a cheap vacation. By the way, there's a lot of cottages up there. If you guys haven't done it, my daughter does it. And they love it. But she saves all year for that one getaway. That's their vacation. But that doesn't define her either. She defines herself by how each one of the kids are doing. What's going on in her personal life? I gravitate closer to you if you're doing that than all this what I call noise. And that is feeling so insecure about who you are personally that you have to grandiosely define yourself by your business. And I've had people lie about their business, telling me how much they're making. And when it come all out and the facts came out, it wasn't even close. And the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself about the business. I've seen people lie to even their partners, their better halves, about the business until it's too late. Because they didn't want their better half to think and deem them as a failure, because that's how they define themselves, is based on the business. If the business failed, then they were a failed individual. And there's no repair. And that's bullshit. Businesses come and go. I'm telling you right now. You're going to have successes and you're going to have failures. Anybody that's successful in life has failed more than they have been successful. I can tell you that from personal experience. We've had to try a lot of different things that didn't work until it finally we learned what's the approach. Right? So why do people define themselves by the business or by, certain things in their life? If they're the same people that you go to and you tell them about how you just started taking tennis lessons, and they'll tell you pretty much that they're a tennis pro. Close to it. When I see people doing that, I see insecure people I see people that do not believe in themselves. And they don't believe in themselves so much that they have to make this grandiose bullshit facade. And just the energy it has to go into maintaining that. They're easy to spot because the ones that do that make up these crazy stories to try to put them in a better light so that they hope that you will see them as successful, accomplished, what have you. When it gets all said and done, I'd be more okay with the real that person than all this noise, right? And they can't keep their stories straight either. Because I do listen to people. And when somebody's telling me something, it gets stored. Maybe not so much, But when I see them again, they're trying to tell the same story. But it's not the same story. And I've seen people tell the same story so often that they actually start to believe it. Yeah. And that's even sadder. Wouldn't it be better to define yourself by how great a dad you are? A partner you are? That it's okay to be average. You don't need to be a superstar at everything. Michael Jordan was great on the court, right? And then I guess he was great in business and marketing his stuff. He made boatloads of money. But was the man ever happy? Because there's trade-offs. There is. If you focus on the almighty dollar, you're going to give up a lot on this side. Because you're still chasing this. And by the time you realize that you've been chasing this a long time, your kids will have grown up and moved out of the house. And they have lost the chance of having a great dad in their life because dad thought success was deemed by how much they made versus taking time. Time, you can't put a price tag on time that you spend with people and that you listen. You can't. Those kids, I can show you example after example after example because they're all over Snapchat, TikTok, and all these other ones, which I don't partake in. But my granddaughters even show me some of this crap. But they're from wealthy families. And they're not getting that one-on-one with their kids. The kids are usually screwed up. The kids have never had to do anything in their life. If they go out and they smash a $100,000 sports car, the parents just go out and buy them another. Let's not even go into the fact that when they smashed the first one, they were drunk. And they've got a drinking problem. They're damaged because the parents haven't shown the warmth and the closeness because they're so busy carrying on this facade. If I'm going to be defined as anything, please, please define me as what I am as a dad, a grandparent, a spouse. But don't define me by my business. And I'm not going to tell you grandiose stories of how I'm the best at all this other crap, because I'm not insecure in who I am. I accept my failings. I accept that I'm not perfect. And that's okay. And for the person that's telling me grandiose stories, or if you're that person that has to elaborate to another whole level, I want you to ask yourself why. Why do you not feel you're good enough just being who you are? And if you don't feel good enough by just being who you are, why is that? Because other buddies are achieving these things and you haven't? So what? If something was that important, I guarantee you will have, or you will achieve it. But that just tells me it's not that important to you. And that's okay. Because I'm going to accept you the way you are. Not this elaborate facade. And that rich kid that's drunk driving that car and smashing it and getting another car, my heart goes out to him. I feel sorry for him. I really do. Because they're missing out on the most important thing in life. And that is having their mom and dad in their life on a regular basis. I don't care how successful your business is. If your home life is in shambles, you're not successful. Because you made a choice. If that's the way you want to live your life, is based on your business and pour all your time into that business, then maybe you shouldn't have had a family. Maybe you should have done the business first and then had the family. Yes, Amos, we put in a lot of time in startup mode. And we work nights and weekends and stuff like that. But I can tell you right to this day, if one of my kids wants to talk, or I hear something that doesn't sound right, everything comes to a stop. And I'm listening, I'm trying to be helpful. If any of my neighbors and my friends are having a rough time or in need, I stop what I'm doing. Because I don't define myself by the business or how successful the business is. I define myself as being a good person. And if you watched yesterday's video of being the faucet versus the drain, the drain is going to try to suck everything out of everybody around them, right? Use them, what have you. But the faucet is going to try to help everybody around them. They're more interested in bringing everybody up together. Are there times where I just don't click on being the faucet? Yes. Yes, absolutely. But I'll be the first person to tell you that I am far from perfect. And I don't define myself as trying to be perfect. If that makes any sense. Define yourself by things that are more important and should be more important to you. I mean, this topic, we could go on and on and on, right? But I think it's kind of like beating a dead horse. I think the first 10 minutes you got a visual of, and you know these people, and maybe you are one of these people. I've been there, done that, and hopefully don't go back. But I was at a point at one time where I thought the business defined me of who I am and how successful I am versus what's more important to me, and that is my family and my friends. Even when I was defining myself by the business, I would still drop whatever I was doing and help anybody in need. But you also can't live by crises. Whether it's crises you create, or when the people around you, the only time you have time for them is when they're in crisis mode. Right? What about spending time with them when they're not in need? Isn't that just as, if not more important, to spend time with the people that are around you when things are going good? Only you can decide. Because it's the choices you make starting today that will decide where you want to be. Some people are more comfortable defining themselves by how well their business is, or grandioso because they're insecure and they can't seem to get out of that thing and not understand that they've always been good enough. It's just they aren't to themselves. So on that note, guys, put in the comments, what your thoughts are and how do you define yourself? If you say by the business, Eric, I'll understand because I did at one point. If you tell me being a dad, I'll understand because I've been there and I continue to be there. On that note, you guys have a great Sunday. And yes, we'll meet you back up tomorrow morning for the weekday show. This video you may want to watch a couple times, or this video you may want to share with one of those friends that feel insecure, or someone that defines themselves by just their business. You guys have a great Sunday.